What's up guys, my name is Marc Steiner, and today we are unboxing the brand new DJI RS2. Let's get right into it. Alright, here we go. Oh, it's deep. It's deep. Okay. Okay, so we can put that paperwork aside. I'm just gonna take off this protective gear, and this is the gimbal. I'm actually really impressed. This is smaller than I thought it would be. It's a nice carrying case. It's heavy. It's not heavy. It's heavier than I thought it would be. It feels heavier than the previous foam cases that came with these gimbals, but it feels premium. It feels like it'll protect this stuff. Definitely like hard on the bottom, soft but protective on the top. Let's open it up. So the first thing I'm noticing is that there's a little zipper in the front, which is really nice. It has a nice little Ronin on the leather there. And there are 2 layers of zipper. So there are gonna be 2 layers that we have to open up. Let's open up the first one first. All right, so here we're gonna have all our, wow, lots of pockets. Honestly, this case is just clutch. If you take the gimbal out, you could put other stuff in here. So we got our screws, various screws for various things. We got mounting plates, I assume, or L brackets for something. We'll figure that out. Actually, that might be the lens mount for the end of the lens. Make sure that everything is good. And here is the, what do you call this? A riser. This is the gimbal riser. So if you have a really chunky lens on, you can actually lift your camera up so your lens has plenty of space underneath the body of the camera. So that's really nice to see. Honestly, this case is just really impressive. Can we just talk about this case real quick? Like, this is a well-organized case. Like, yes, you're paying for the gimbal, but you're getting like a very, very well-designed case with lots of pockets that just, the layout makes sense. So let's open up some of this stuff. Okay, this is the briefcase arm. This has a nice little pocket there. Very sturdy, completely metal. That's not going anywhere. You could definitely hurt someone with this if you you wanted to knock them out. So that's good to know that the briefcase arm, you can fully trust that. What else do we get? We get the, and these pockets are tight. Okay, we're getting the actual mounting plate, so that's really nice. What I've heard is that this is actually a Manfrotto tripod plate, so I'm gonna try that when I'm done filming to make sure that it works with my tripod, but as well as a Arca Swiss plate, so you can actually just, whoa, wow, that sounded like a switchblade. Let's do that again. Ooh. So you don't actually have to like completely take off your camera from the gimbal every single time. You can just kind of let it go and take that off. The gimbal remains balanced and you just put your camera back on. That's actually really, really smart. Really like that. That's great to see. The base plate has some nice little teeth there. And that's because on the RS2, the higher end model, there's a screw that you can do finite adjustments, and that's something I always really annoyed me with the the SC, the Ronin SC, is that you couldn't do finite adjustments. You just like push it that millimeter and then it was too balanced one way. So I'm glad that they have that really finite adjustment. That's one of the features that really sets apart the RS2 from the RSC2. Of course, we have the, oh, that's nice. We have the tripod legs. This is, I don't think this is plastic. This feels like aluminum. This is definitely some sort of metal. So heftier, more reliable, feels good in the hand. It's definitely gonna be able to hold the heavier setups that you put on the tripod. And of course, ooh, the cartridge battery grip. This is another thing that sets apart the RS2 from the RSC2, and one of the reasons I really like this is because it's very compartmentalized. Is that the word? You can break it down easily. And so I like that you can just, modular, that's the word I'm looking for. You can just put this on right out of the box. I don't think this comes charged, which is a bit of a bummer, but the biggest thing that I love about this is that the charging port is now on the battery, so you don't have to set up the entire gimbal like before on the Ronin S and the Ronin SC just to charge it. That was such a pain. I wanted to just charge the battery because that was so much easier. Now you can just plug this in and keep the gimbal in the case or keep it set up or whatever you want and just charge the battery. So much better. All right, that is everything on the top layer, I'm just gonna put these back in the pockets, and what I'm assuming on the bottom pocket is the main event. Oh, there's more stuff here. Okay, so packaging, as you would assume, and the main event, the gimbal itself. Man, this looks so good. I have to say, this looks really, really good. This looks sturdy. Is this part of the gimbal? No, that's just more protection. I do like that it comes with that protection, but there it is. That's the gimbal we got. Let me hide my eye. There we go. I love the carbon fiber. That's one of the reasons why I got this one. Really, really nice, really hefty, but light, really, really light. Every axis locks now, like the SC, the original SC. God, these names are gonna keep getting me messed up. But the carbon fiber looks really nice. The Ferrari racing stripes look really nice. This is gonna stand out a little bit when you're out in the field, which I don't know if I'm a fan of. You know, at photography meetups, people are gonna be like, oh, he has the new gimbal. But you know, when you're out in the wild shooting in a place that they're gonna be annoying, this might stand out a little bit more. But let's throw the battery grip on and see how it looks in terms of size. You ready for this? Ooh. And then you can just lock it by pulling the lever there. Really nice. You're very secure. It's not gonna go anywhere. That's really nice to see. One of the other things, this is actually not as big as I thought it would. If we take the legs off, this is actually very, very manageable. It's not that much larger than the Ronin SC, the previous generation one. And this can take like 5 times the amount of weight. And it's about the same size. Sure, the arms are a little larger, but the arms now allow you to take larger setups with larger lenses. And that was one of the things that really irked me with the SC, is that I could never take my 35mm Sigma because it was too long and a little bit too front heavy. So that was an issue. But now, this actually feels really good in the hand. Like the battery grip, they did a good job. The front button is right there. The little wheel is right there. The wheel feels very satisfying to move in and out. So I'm going to set that to my aperture. So when I'm plugged into my gimbal, I can just control the aperture there. That's gonna be a really nice feature for me to have. And when we put the legs back on for two-handed mode, all right, yeah, definitely feeling like a Ronin now. But yeah, this is really great. We got the NATO ports on each side and the joystick and whatnot on the back, which is really nice to see. We have the new touch screen, which I really, really like. I'm gonna have to try and test that out. So obviously, full video coming with a full review, but let's take that little protection off. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, that touch screen is gonna be really, really nice. And what else? Oh yeah, so in the next compartment, let's set this down. And it comes with a bunch of wires. What I assume, oh yeah. We got USB-C to USB-C, we got USB-C to US mini USB, we got mini micro USB, and the old one. Yeah, we got whatever camera you have, there's a plug for it. So you're set. Whatever camera you're putting on this gimbal, you're good. It will be able to plug in to the gimbal, to your camera, you're set. No worries there. And then the next one is the charging cable. So this comes with a USB-A to USB-C. You can just charge your little battery grip there. That's really nice to see. They don't include a charging brick or a dedicated charger, but that's all you need, you know? I don't think anyone else needs a charging brick. We all have a million one of those. Apple isn't putting it in their new phones. We all have the bricks. There's a reason why they're not including the bricks. We only need the cables. All right, so overall, I'm very, very impressed with this. Let's just move the case off to the side. I'm actually really impressed. So this is the old Ronin SC. This is the $400 gimbal. And this is the brand new RS2, the Ronin S2. The bigger brother, they're not that much different. This is really impressive. This is another reason why I love this gimbal, is because you get all of that power in a small setup, and with the carbon fiber, it's lightweight too. Like, Gotta switch hands just to be sure. This is a little bit heavier, just a little bit heavier. And I think that's mostly given to the fact that these are metal legs and these are plastic legs. But the weight difference between the previous SC and the brand new RS2 is not a lot. And given the fact that the build quality went from majority, if not all plastic to completely metal and carbon fiber, is really, and the grip just feels more streamlined, it feels better. In the hand, everything feels really good. Let's see if we can take off these. I don't know how I feel about the locks being where they are. I feel like I kind of preferred them on the SC, but that could just be a year difference. Again, size is not that drastically different. Obviously the mounting plate is a little longer because it's meant for heavier setups and it can take bigger setups with bigger lenses, but that's pretty impressive size differential. Okay, here you might see a little bit more of a difference between the size. That one is a little bit more substantial, but again, the reason why it's larger back here is so it can take those bigger lenses. This one couldn't do that. It would always hit the back motor. You're definitely not hitting the back motor on this one, so that's really nice to see that this gimbal, although you're gaining a lot of features, you're not actually losing because of weight, and size, which is really, really nice. The joystick on the back feels really, really good. I like that. The M button, the record button just feel like they're in the naturally right place, whereas on the other one, the joystick was a little bit harder to reach, especially when you were two-handing it. This one just feels a lot nicer and more convenient. So the reason why I decided to get the RS2 when I already had the Ronin SC was, one, I have heavier setups now. I have the A7S III, which I'm using, and I wanted a gimbal that could take practically any lens, and I'm not worried about the payload, because this one always limited me with the lenses I could use. I use the 28mm, I use the 20mm, and I use the 85mm, and for me that was kind of like the sweet spot. If I started putting a mic on, it started, using the motors a little bit too much. Sometimes they would just get a little bit jittery because it couldn't handle it depending on the lens and the microphone combination. So that was always kind of annoying, and I obviously, I could build it out, but this is such a small and light gimbal, it wasn't really meant to be built out. But now that I have things that might be wanting to put on here, like a XLR mic or a monitor, I can build that out and have confidence that this gimbal is going to support that kind of stuff. So I can really build this out for a lot of stuff, and this one is kind of just like lightweight run and gun. I really like this because it's just awesome. Now granted, it's not cheap. It's kind of on the more expensive end, but I have a feeling within the next 9 to 12 months or so, we'll see the price drop from its current price to somewhere between $600 and $700, because that's what previous models have done. They usually go on sale for an astronomical price, and then they come down drastically over the next couple of months. So the reason, and I know on Twitter, people have already asked me why I went with the RS2 instead of the RSC2, and even though the RSC2 does technically make more sense for my current setups, the small Sony mirrorless cameras, it was just that peace of mind. I was so annoyed that I couldn't use my 35mm on this one, and I just didn't want to have that same thing occur down the line with the RSC2. Also, I wasn't a huge fan of the fact that it's not actually detachable. I like being able to take everything off, that battery grip included. So when I saw that the RSC2 didn't have the battery grip coming off, it was all built in, although that's a cool feature, I like the modularity and being able to take things apart and just make room in my bag as I see fit, versus the gimbal coming in a set size regardless of how I take it apart. So that was one thing for me that I kind of preferred. And the touchscreen on the back here, I think, as well as the carbon fiber arms, made a huge difference for me, because I like that knowing that no matter what I throw at this gimbal, it's going to be able to hold it, and it's going to be a gimbal that lasts for many years, and I won't need to worry about anything else coming out. Alright guys, that's it from me. Let me know in the comment section down below, are you excited about this gimbal? What do you want to see in the full review? And let me know if I can answer any of your questions. My name is Marc Steiner, and I'll see you next time.